Okay, thanks for tuning in for another episode of Chaos and Recovery. Today's episode, we are going to be diving into what the other side goes through as far as dealing with an addict alcoholic, the feelings attached, and I know for me personally, it's very important for me to hear family, friends, partners, daughters and sons of people who deal with addicts and alcoholics. And on today's episode, we have Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay! Yes.
You a little nervous?
Yeah, a little
nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, I tell my story all the time at meetings and rehabs and detoxes. And so for me, it's like I'm used to this stuff. And so it's interesting when people come in, do the episode, and it's like totally foreign almost, kind of telling where they're at with a lot of stuff, Yeah,
I think a lot of time, like when you're dealing with a story of like, someone you're very close with going through recovery or an active addiction, it's like you have a certain group of people that you have to deal with it with.
Yeah.
And so that's, nobody really knows.
And then, my brother was an addict.
Yeah. And then otherwise you have maybe help you're getting or therapy or something, but it's very rarely you get to like sit and actually tell your, your story in that light, like in such a different light. So I've known Lindsay since I was probably 11, 12, maybe?
I think so.
Yeah, we danced together. It's been a long time, and she feels like kind of family to me, kind of one of those forever sisters. And tell us a little bit about you, Lindsay, and your story and why you're on.
Oh boy, that's exciting. I don't know. I'm Lindsay, and my brother was an addict, alcoholic, and I just come from a family of alcoholics, and I watched your guys' snippets of this, and I find it to be very interesting and helpful, and like Steve just said, it's helpful to see from other people's sides, and I have that specific group of people. I don't think anybody knows that I had this growing up, that my brother was an addict.
Sure.
Like, even like Jess, I don't think you really even knew, like you said, like, because I don't tell anybody. And if it comes up, it's just the snippet of like, oh yeah, my brother's now like an alcoholic, or my family's alcoholics, I don't drink. And because people immediately assume when I say like I'm sober or I don't drink, they imagine that I'm sober. And I'm like, oh no, I just choose that because of my life. And then like the whole addict part, I definitely don't get into that because I feel like there's a certain judgment over that, even though it's not me. And it's just not really something I get into, also because I feel like there's still denial in there.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's embarrassment attached to the addict word? Like, my brother's an addict. Like...
Yeah, because I feel like people are so quick to be like, oh, apple tree.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Yeah.
And like, it's just kind of like, okay. And then they just assume... I don't know what you could assume, because you see shows, and when you see a show with an addict, you're seeing some extreme
stigmas,
stuff. That's not always the case. It's a lot less than that, but a lot more at the same time, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think when the word addict is thrown out there, the first thought that registers is he's got to be in an alleyway, shooting up somewhere out of a puddle, and homeless. And... like my mind goes to that, and I'm an addict.
It's like
it's imprinted.
Propaganda. Kind of, right?
Yeah, for sure. And so like I can get the embarrassment attachment to that, but also like kind of the defense, like I don't want to get into it type of thing. Don't ask me about it. Like
because I don't want to. I don't know, embarrass him or something. It's like almost that protection piece of him. And like my kids don't know, and my kids will, I don't think, ever know if it comes from me.
Sure.
And I have one that's 21.
Right.
She knows bits and pieces.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's protection for her.
Is he older or younger than you?
Older.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 years older. So he's 43.
Yeah.
So what did alcohol and drugs look like to you growing up? Like, what's your
like
kind
it was
of,
like,
what do you remember about it or being introduced to it or seeing it?
I mean, I was always at family parties that there's obviously alcohol flowing always, and everybody's drinking, and everybody's fun time sallies, and it's like, oh, okay. And then, but when you find out that, like, so my dad died when I was 8, which is a huge piece of where all this stemmed from, but he was an alcoholic, and I do hear stories from my mom now, and like other people too, and I think just always hearing like, oh, your family's a bunch of alcoholics growing up. Like, I never really, I never touched alcohol really. Like, I wasn't that kid going to parties, and for drugs, like, it was definitely like, I thought everything was bad. Like, I thought like weed was like going to get you so addicted. So like I stayed away from all of that. Yeah. Like when I was younger, I didn't hear necessarily like about drugs until I was a little older, and my brother started off with pills. So, and he was 13 and I was only 8. So it was like, it wasn't until my teens that I kind of really started to realize what all of this was, and woke up to it. And then I was just kind of angry right from the rip.
Yeah. Did your father pass away from implications of alcoholism?
No.
Okay.
Nope. He died from cancer.
Oh, okay.
Preventable cancer. Like, and he could have prevented it from spreading, but didn't go because I don't know if it's because some of the symptoms go hand in hand with things of alcoholics.
Right.
But,
Yeah. Yeah, it's, because sometimes hospitals won't treat you for certain things if they know you're an alcoholic and you keep drinking.
Yeah.
I had a friend, he was actually in our grade. I don't want to put his name out there, but he had liver disease, needed a new liver. I mean, at 33, 32 years old from drinking. And they're like, we're not going to give you a new liver unless you keep drinking. And he had to stay sober for 6 months before they would give him a liver. Because if they give you a new liver and you destroy it again, you could have saved somebody else.
Exactly.
You know?
Yep.
So what age did you like start hearing that your father was an alcoholic?
Probably when I was like a freshman. I think everything came to light.
Okay.
With like
all started clicking.
Yeah. Because that's when everybody started drinking. And I had a good friend that when we were in like 8th grade, she was having parties at our house. And I was like, I'm not going to that. And then like she had gotten a sickness that goes in hand with drinking a lot. And I was like, I don't understand why you would keep doing that. And it was just this whole new group of friends for her. And at that point, I was like, that was my family, and I'm not going to be part of that. And so I lost a lot of friends, literally 8th grade and freshman year, because that's when life started for some of these people. And I wasn't about to join it in pure fear.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, good on you at one part, you know, to kind of go against the grain, because I think everybody, once they get to that 8th and 9th grade mark, it's like drinking. That's like a whole new fucking hell yeah fucking moment, you know, and... so I guess I give a lot of people credit who come from that kind of ideology at such a young age. Like, I've seen so many people destroyed from this alcoholism. I'm not going down that road.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to be so mature at that age to do so. But it must have, because you had such a fucking impact on your life.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So, go.
I was just going to say, when did it, like, really hit with your brother? And start affecting your life and everything you're watching?
I was just, like, counting, because I'm like, okay, so when I was 16, he was, like, 21, 22, and there were times that, like, so, like, going into, like, how could I make that decision to, like, 16, I was a little older at that point, but, like, when I was a freshman, I was, 14? So he started his when he was 16, his addiction, because he got a knee injury. And he got prescribed pills.
Okay.
And so...
How it fucking always happened back then.
Yep. And so, and obviously nobody realized what was happening, but it was a slow thing. But I do remember, like, being in high school and having my brother be outside, like, banging on the door, crying to let him in the house to sleep because my mom, like, wouldn't. Like, so here I am, a kid in high school. This was before, like, you know, and everybody's out there having a good time, and I'm just like, my brother is banging on the door trying to come inside the house because
relatable.
Because we won't let him in because he has a problem. Like, and so I want to say it was like, I had a lot of my own shit going on. Yeah. Losing your dad and then having your whole life upside down, and then your brother has a lot more issues, and he's only 13 and he lost his dad, and then fast forward 3 years and now he's got this knee issue, which is creating this whole other issue, and your mom just is always with your brother. And so yeah. And so it was just like something, I didn't touch drugs or alcohol, but I turned to like other things and friends. Yeah. And like, and I did have like one experience with like triple C's back in the day, which I didn't know how serious those were. Yeah. And I took 10 and so it was horrible. And I was laying on the ground, literally in a school playground with friends around me who didn't think I was telling the truth. And I literally could hear everything. I couldn't open my eyes. They lit my hair on fire. And then they believed me when I didn't move, and they stomped it out, and they dropped me off at our good friend's house.
Jesus.
Wow.
And
that's a traumatic experience.
Yeah, and that mother took care of me and then brought me to my mom, and my mom had no idea that I was high as a kite. And that was probably my only one time and then from that moment I was like, okay, this was horrifying.
What led to you taking 10 triple T's?
Because they were like, and I was
it like a fun thing?
Because it's like your brother is getting all this attention from your mom, and he's an addict, and then it was like, let me just try something. Let me see if she notices, and let me see what the good time is, because everybody else is doing it, and I'm the one that's staying sober because I'm scared. But then it was like, it's only pills, it's not addictive. But just the outcome of that was terrifying. Yeah. But then,
it's interesting because I can relate a lot when she talks about that, because I feel like a lot of any resentment that I had built started there in that space where it was like, I remember
like the attention part of it
when I was younger, it was more like before I really processed like what was really going on, and before I knew that you could possibly be an addict or an alcoholic. This is like when we were younger and shit was just starting to pop off, and like junior high school, we're a year apart. We're just having fun, doing the thing, and whatever's happening's happening. I don't think it really like clicked fully for me, like the seriousness of using drugs and alcohol. Yeah. But I remember like when people would talk to me about any instance that happened, I would be like, yeah, well, Steve was doing this, so I couldn't do this. Like, I remember missing, like, my friends' parties where we weren't, like, getting our stomach pumped and doing crazy shit all night and throwing these huge ragers. I remember I couldn't go to a party one time because we had to go and stop you from having a party at our dad's house after our parents divorced. And then one of the girls there was in my grade, and she had to get her stomach pumped at the time. And I was like, you fucking bitch, you ruined my part. Like, there was just so much resentment like that. Like, I couldn't even enjoy my younger life like that because the attention was always on, like, what's Steve going to do next? What's he doing? Like, all my mother's energy was so, like, immediately super worried, anxiety, helicopter mom, because she was losing control of him. Yeah. So, like, obviously when you lose the control, you just want to grasp it more and more and, like, save and fix and blah, 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 and not know what to do, and tough love, and she's, like, losing her mind trying to discipline him, and that's pushing him farther away, and, all that crazy stuff. But I built a lot of resentment for, like, stuff like that. Yeah. Just because it was kind of felt like so separated. Like, you had your shit going on, and then that came first in everybody's head, where it was over here. Yeah. It was like, well, I feel things too sometimes. Yeah, yeah. Not that they were ignored, but that's how I felt.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom didn't so much, like, worry and try to, like, proactively prevent with him. It was just more of, like, Jared's dad died at 13, and he's a boy, and so now he needs her, and it was just, I'm okay, and I was okay, and I could make my own decisions, and so I was just kind of like left, and then she was also how I am now, and we just avoid, and so I think she was just avoiding dealing with anything real, or maybe she truly was not like, I don't know, because still to this day, I don't think she has ever grasped and accepted that he's an addict.
Yeah, I think I could be off base here, but I've just heard it so many times from so many different people, so many different family members, that it's very tough to fully admit to themselves that okay, my son is an addict or my daughter is an addict and it's this bad, because they take it personal.
Yeah.
I fucked them up. I didn't do enough. I should have done more. And I'm a terrible parent because my daughter or son is an alcoholic or an addict. And it's much easier, or so they think, to have that avoidance tool, to have the self-validation of, okay, his father died young. I'm doing the best I can. He's not that bad. All of these things, while trying to combat all of those thoughts with just trying to avoid the real serious issue, is just devastating to everybody, because all the mindset is just like, all right, how do I fix this? But also, how do I save face?
Yeah.
For the family.
That was all that mattered. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an image thing for a lot of parents.
And we had a family business, so we couldn't.
Sure.
Yeah.
Especially in, the last generation. These things are obviously more and more acceptable. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So to admit as a single mother who just lost her husband that her son is an addict.
Yeah, but even the knee thing, the prescription pills, he needs them. Oh, that's what really fucked up my son. He's not really an addict. He just, the doctors fucked him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go so many different routes, especially with that era, with the OxyContin era, with the Percocet era, because...
And you watch that show and you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It was fucking terrible for a very long time. And that's what made a lot of people turn to heroin and then fentanyl. Personal health injuries, it destroyed a lot of people's lives because these doctors just wrote it off like nothing.
And now he's struggling on the other end because he does have an injury.
Sure.
And he can't take things.
Take anything. Yeah.
Yep. So it's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long or how did his journey with addiction progress? Did it seem to progress? It did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Because, I got married when I was 24 or 5, and so my dad is dead, and I needed somebody to walk me down the aisle, and so I was like, oh, obviously my brother's going to walk me down the aisle. I have 2 brothers, actually, and one of them refuses to come here, so Jared was the one that was walking me down the aisle, but the other one also has addiction and alcohol issues, and sometimes I'm like, how the hell did I manage to be semi-normal? Honestly, I'm like, oh, God. But Jared was going to walk me down the aisle, and he was dating this girl at the time, and so she came, and he left my wedding, and he was like, oh, I'm going to go catch this new movie that's out. These things aren't my thing. He never stayed at social things. Yeah. He was never around for that kind of stuff. He missed all of the key moments of my life, and... it was normal. It was normal for me to not have my brother at things. And so now it's so wild for me to have my own kids and to be at these events where all of these families are there all together. And, I've never had a full family. And then it's I've never had the experience where my brother was there for me. And my brother truly doesn't remember anything. He just told my mom, he never went on the family trips that we went on, that it was always me and her. And that's how he sees things.
Sure.
But he was there.
Yeah.
We have pictures of him there, and he just doesn't remember things. Mm-hmm. And so, my wedding, he walks me down the aisle, he stays for the dinner, and then goes to see a movie. And I'm like, you're going to go see a movie? And we find out that he didn't actually go see a movie. He left to go get high.
Yeah.
And he doesn't remember any of this. He doesn't remember my wedding. He doesn't remember, he has the picture of walking me down the aisle, and he does feel bad. We've had some conversations more recently that we've never had.
Sure.
It was just that we had a family business. My mom would leave him because he wanted to run it, and we'd get calls that Jared's not there, and the guys that work for us are running the register, and they're running all of the stuff, and Jared's nowhere to be found, and Jared had to run an errand, or Jared has a different girlfriend running the thing because he needs to take a nap in the car, and it was just damaging to the family business. But again, he doesn't see this now, and it's a lot of blame on my mom, who just was there enabling him and letting this happen the whole time. And then I feel like it really peaked. It was 2011, I think, is when things started to change because he OD'd. And I remember I was home. I have a child. I had a daughter at 17, and so she was there. And it was me and her, my mom and my aunt, and Jared was upstairs, and it was a Sunday, and he was on unemployment. And so my mom was like, go make sure he did his weekly thing. And so I went upstairs, and I'm knocking on the door, and I'm like, Jared. And I hear this like gurgling noise that will never, ever not be there. And I'm like, I don't think that that's normal. And I went downstairs, and I'm like, Mom, there's something wrong with him. He's not answering. I can't get in. And I'm like slamming against the door. And so we go outside, and the house I grew up in, you can like climb up to the roof, but then it's like the ladder, it was like a gap that I was not comfortable making the jump. And we grew up next to boys, and nobody was home to help us. And we were like, okay. And somehow at this point, my mom, my aunt, and my daughter all end up outside. And we're all outside trying to figure out how the hell to get into the house, like into Jared's room.
Yeah.
And somehow we got locked out. Every door is locked in this house. Cassidy locked the front door because she thought we were leaving. Love her.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was definitely like God's way of being like, this is what needed to happen, because I called the fire department that's down the street, and I'm like, we can't get in. And they're like, is anybody in the house? I'm like, my brother, and he's an addict. And my mom immediately was like, no, he's not. Don't tell them that. And I'm like, he's an addict, and there was a noise coming from his bedroom door, and I don't know that he's okay. And so they are over there in 5 seconds, and they break through this tiny, tiny window, and they had to give Jared, I think, 6 Narcans.
Yeah.
He came down, he's a big boy, and he came down the stairs on a stretcher, like white as a sheet. And I just remember like being horrified, and my aunt was horrified, and we shielded Cassidy, obviously.
Sure.
And my mom was just like, oh gosh, like not understanding that like he could be dead right now because of this. And this is when he had piles of stuff in his room, and it is like, how did he not get arrested after this? And that's what just makes me feel uncomfortable with having friends in different places, because something could have happened from this at that moment to change. And he didn't get in any trouble. He just got brought to the hospital.
Yeah.
And he was out the very next morning, which was shocking as shit. And we went out to breakfast.
6 Narcans.
Yeah. And he was laughing and joking, and my mom was laughing and joking, and then they're talking about the stuff. And
you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Because I saw all the piles of like Coke and stuff, and then he's saying it's baking soda or powder, and she believes him, and I like don't understand like how
she wasn't did she question him at all? Like
no. But then in his blood system it was what is the one that you take to stop doing drugs?
Methadone.
But
Suboxone.
Suboxone.
Yeah.
Cocaine. It was both of those, I think. Cocaine.
Contradicting?
Had to be fentanyl or heroin too.
Oxy was in there, and I never heard about one of the other like fentanyl or with him or heroin.
Because Narcan only works on opiates. So if it was Oxycontin, then it must have been
because that was the start. Yeah. And that was his big issue.
Right.
But
and then cocaine isn't that
speedballing?
Oh, do tell.
It's a high-low type of thing.
Okay.
It's like.
But wouldn't that balance you right out?
Was he an IV user, or you don't know?
So I didn't know, but when we sold our house, we sold it to somebody that we know, and when they went through his room, they were like, there was needles everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So you mix.
And so it could have been anything in those needles. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a speedball.
We've never talked about it. Like I know he's joked about his trips on acid and stuff like
things
that.
that are acceptable. Yeah.
Yeah, and he does. He jokes about experience he had.
And a lot of time, opiate users have cocaine around in case they feel like they're going to go into an overdose.
Wow.
So it can kick them back in.
I had no idea. And like we really did. We've never dove deep into it. We've never discussed any of this. Yeah. And I just think that he just either doesn't remember or he just really doesn't want to. But
so did you try and have a conversation with him after this?
Not right after, because there was no talking to him. Like there was no. We talked. We would finally start having conversations after he dated a girl that was very good for him. That kind of was like, you have nieces, like you have a nephew and you have a niece, and you have a great family. Because his girlfriends always ended up living with us, and half of them were just as sleazy. Like they have stolen my mom's wedding ring to get stuff. Like he's gotten rid of so many things that I've bought him. Like and my mom, and it's just like, but the girl was the one that kind of started changing things. And so like we've had some sit down conversations, but there's still so much blame on my mom from his end.
Okay.
Which is weird because he just sees it as she wasn't there.
Yeah.
But we haven't really sat and been like, Jared, what got you into that? Like, what was going through your mind? Like, we've never had deep conversations.
Right. Is that something you would want to explore with him? I mean, because if he doesn't even like remember being at vacations, how can he remember like how he got into certain things?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like such a jumbled like area. I know for me, like a lot of my drug use and alcoholism, like the last 20 years have been pretty blurred.
Yeah.
Especially emotionally, because I've tried to block out my emotions the best I could with drugs and alcohol. So like emotionally trying to relay like how I was feeling or what got me into certain things, I couldn't fucking tell you.
Yeah.
I just know I was hurt. I was in a lot of pain mentally and emotionally.
Yeah.
It's interesting because when he, you know, like if he has this perception of like, you know, he knows who to put the blame on, I wonder if that's really comes from an understanding or a
it's a defense mechanism.
A placement for it. Like I need to place this somewhere because he's probably even trying to make sense of it.
Yeah.
So
it's sometimes I'm like, how are you even
like,
still sober if you don't accept the blame?
Yeah, I think all addicts and alcoholics hold this victim mentality, and they need to. Of I didn't put myself here. These circumstances got me here, and that's during use.
Yeah,
that keeps you going. That keeps you using.
And also, like muggles.
Yep.
Let's bring that back.
Normal.
Muggles do that as well. Muggles are non-addicted.
Oh. I'm like, I don't know that one.
Anyways, but I think that's humans do that. Let's put the blame where we need to put the blame so I don't have to look at where my wrongdoing. Accountability. Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Wow. So this is so when he met this new woman, how did he get sober? Did he just stop?
Yeah, no. He would. Yeah. I think he went through because he was never like super sick, like going through any of that stuff. Like, she was much, much younger. They actually lied about her age when they started dating, and so I don't know. Honestly, like what the hell they did to make this happen. I wasn't living at the house at this time. I was living outside of the house.
Sure.
So I just know that he was slowly just looking a little bit better, and he would slowly like start coming downstairs when I went over there with my son and husband, and then he would slowly like stay down there for dinner. And so it was like a very slow like back to reality picture, but I never saw like him going through anything. I just know like I found out I was allergic to cephalexin, and I had an extreme like withdrawal when so I took the pill, and then I had this huge rash and vomiting, like my throat was swelled and everything, and then I shook on the couch for 2 days. Yeah. Just shook violently. I was freezing cold. And he like put a jacket over me, like one of his thickest ones, and he's like, you look like I looked when I came off of stuff. Yeah. And so that's all I know of any of that. Okay. But I was like, I swear to God, like I just took this pill and I was allergic. But that was the only thing he ever said to me of that.
Sure.
But it was a very slow like back around.
Yeah, so he went through it.
Yeah, he definitely went through it because and I'm so glad, but it was just a very slow
of course
process, and I don't understand that side of it. So it's like I don't understand why you have this, and you're like, I'm telling you I love you, and you have all of this, and you're just not.
Yeah.
And do you think he did it because of this girlfriend at the time?
I think she wasn't mad. I do, and I still love her to death, and I still like will talk to her here and there because I feel like she was the piece of it. Yeah. Because then he had dated another girl afterwards that was not great, and you could see the downfall again, and then and since then he's had better girlfriends that 100% have helped him
support him. Yeah.
He needs that. He needs like a girl that's going to do it all, which is also not fair to her, but they keep him in line almost.
Yeah. Not fair to him neither.
Huh?
Not fair to him either.
No.
Because he's like relying on that.
Yeah.
But like, who am I to say?
But he doesn't know how to take care of himself.
Yeah.
At all.
Well, I think a lot of addict alcoholics, when they've been enabled for so long, or have a parent that lets them stay at the house and use while they're at the house, and avoid them while they're at the house, let them stay in the room by themselves all the time by themselves. They become reliant on that parent or parents, and so they don't know how to pay bills. They don't know how to be cleanly. They don't know how to be social. And even when you get sober, those things take so long, like coming down for dinner.
Yeah.
I'm not used to this.
Yeah.
Like for me, like it's taken me years to just get little by little certain things back in order, like paying my bills, like being on time when I'm supposed to be on time, like always saying where I'm going to be when I say I'm going to be. Like today, I can still fall back into my addict behavior, because we had a great weekend this weekend. My son came up from Florida, and like there's a lot of resentments I have for myself for that child, and like we had an amazing weekend, and it was filled with family, and we did so much stuff, and the emotions were running high. And then I dropped him off at the airport this morning, and like it was like a big crash for me. And like I spent all day today not doing anything for myself, laying in bed, eating, and just falling asleep. I literally for 8 hours. And like I wasn't going to bring that up, but it's so important for me to bring that up because that's part of my old addict behavior. Feel bad for myself, have a crash of emotions. Instead of doing all the things that I did to get me sober and keep me sober, sometimes I do fall back into that. And I have to give myself some grace sometimes. Yeah. Because I do a lot for my recovery. But like I also have to be very vigilant and worry about falling back into those old behaviors,
Yeah. I'm sure there's a fine line of like feeling your emotions, because it's important as well, while still keeping up with your the things that you need to for your recovery, right?
Today you're accountable for coming to this.
Yeah.
So you had to get up, get your shit together.
Which is great. And so that's like the moments of grace where it's like, maybe it's okay today to feel those things, be aware of it, but still show up for this, not cancel the thing, but you didn't have anything to do today. So you kind of, you could have done the extra stuff for your recovery, but to be aware of it, I'm sure it's hard to find that balance, because there's also this, I have to do this every day, and there's a lot of pressure with it as well, which you need to stay sober. Right. But I'm sure it's sometimes it almost can be like take away from sitting in the shit for a minute.
Yeah. Well, I think we can be very hard on ourselves very easily. Be addicts and alcoholics when we've fucking fucked up so much in the past. And then you have a day where, yes, it could have been beneficial for me to like just fucking get my energy up. I didn't have to work today. I didn't, there's a nor'easter outside. Like, all of these factors, it's like, okay, great. But sometimes it's just tough for me to like say, no, take this day for yourself. Or get the fuck downstairs and go have dinner. Like those things. And little by slow is any type of progress is great progress. You're never going to have an addict who gets sober and all the things that he has bad characteristics of are now checked off. They're just magically there now because he's sober. It's like being sober is the easy part. Being in recovery and learning how to be a new human is the hard part. Putting the drugs and alcohol down, that's not a problem. Yeah. It's keeping them out of your lives and learning how to be a better human. That
I never even thought of it like
fixing the thing,
and how to be a human again. I never even thought about that for my brother.
Drugs and alcohol isn't his problem.
Yeah.
His problem is the way he thinks, the way he feels. Yeah. And the drugs and alcohol are his medicine to combat how he feels, the pain he has inside, the resentments he has for himself, the resentments he has for his father, the resentments he has for his mother. Yeah. It's all of those things, justified or not, it doesn't matter. They're real inside of his mind, emotionally and physically. It does damage on his body, and drugs and alcohol are the best thing for him. Lying is the best thing for him. Staying in his room is the best thing for him.
He does that.
Those are all fucking true for him in that moment. And then trying to relearn how to walk.
Oh, best thing for him. That's interesting. I get what you're saying.
For him,
dependent on his survival in the moment.
In the moment. Yeah. In his psyche, as an addict, that's the best thing. Save me. Yeah. this is the thing that's going to fucking, it's going to keep me away from life.
Yeah.
This is how I defend myself.
Yeah.
It's the best thing that he knows how to do.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it is the best thing.
Yeah, I get
No,
it.
but he's developed.
Yeah.
Because he'll stay in his room still. Like he's developed like go for walks, go
Yeah.
do little simple things.
Sure.
Like he makes so many trips to friggin' Cumberland Farms. This guy, he knows everybody. But I think that's his like way, and it's funny because he can hold a conversation with anybody that he sees at Cumberland Farms.
Yeah.
But not somebody in his family. But you know what? I'm like
Yeah.
talking about this. I'm like, oh my god, I have all of these traits. I do the same thing. I slept all day. I didn't do a damn thing because I was upset because I had a moment at my house that was an issue that's been just a thing, and I just slept all day instead of dealing with it.
Yeah.
And I never kind of gave him that grace to be like, oh shit, no wonder.
Yeah. So, what's your relationship with him now? Like, do you guys talk? Do you guys?
We do.
Yeah.
Like not often, not
Sure.
every day, but like we check in with each other, and like so my mom takes my kids a lot. I'm fortunate that she's a great grandmother, but and so when they're there, he'll come out and he'll play with them.
Oh, cool.
My son,
Yeah.
Jameson, is obsessed with him.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And I love that
That's
because
great.
I was so sad at the beginning for both of them.
Yeah.
And now they have like this great relationship. They both love the villains and everything. So like they've got that going on. The hats, Uncle Jared is the hat man. And
cool.
like it's awesome for me to see that relationship. Caroline is a girly girl.
Yeah.
She likes Uncle Jared. She loves him obviously, but like they don't have that same relationship.
Sure.
But him and I have sat and talked. We've talked about our mom. We've talked about our dad. We've talked about meds because we both have a lot of mental health issues.
Yeah.
We've talked about how, honestly, we've compared meds and we've compared how certain ones make us both feel the same way and everything. And we've talked about just like little things. We've talked about I have talked to him about like the wedding and how like I was just like, Jared, how did you leave? And he just, honestly, it just ends with the same thing every time. Like, I didn't know what I was doing, Lindsay. I just needed to get high.
And that's a valid answer. It's not good. It doesn't feel good, maybe.
Yeah.
But how did that make you feel hearing that? Is that a bullshit excuse?
No, I don't feel it's a bullshit excuse.
Yeah.
I feel like if he could honestly say that to me instead of making up a story, I'd rather have that. Because I'm sure there was plenty of stories.
Sure.
But like, we've never dug deep into like, Jared, do you know what it was like when you were banging on the door and we couldn't let you in? Like, do you know how horrifying that is? Like, do you know what it was like when you were like just so angry at me for working at the car wash when I had no other place? That was our family business, and you were high. Like, but like we'll talk. I know I can text him any moment and he'll be there. Last week I called him and I was like, hey, are you around? Because I need a ride home from the dealership. And so like random stuff like that. Like we have that relationship, but we've never we're both avoiders.
Right.
And that's just our childhood, I think.
Yeah.
With a mix of everything.
It's a learned behavior for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like we have a good enough relationship that he's like definitely in my corner. Definitely.
Yeah.
Like he's come to my kids' birthday parties. He doesn't stay. And people don't know I have a brother still to this day because they'll be like, wait, that was your brother? And I'm like, yeah, he comes around. And they'll be like, oh yeah, I've seen him for like 5 minutes before. I'm like, yeah, he literally shows up to parties for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot. And I don't expect him to be
pretty cool that he does show up when he knows it's not going to be for long.
He comes enough so the kids see him. He hangs out, maybe eats something, and then he'll make sure the kids he watches the kid open their gift, like whoever is for. And then... Cool. And I take those things, and I'm like, okay, and I never thought we'd had any of this.
Yeah.
It's tough to not have like expectations on people. Period.
Yeah.
You know, so especially when somebody gives us something, we're like thinking you should do it in this way or more, and it's like, it's a lot to be grateful for.
I learned to not have like expectations for him.
Yeah,
like I do for almost everybody else, and maybe I should not, but but like I don't have expectations for him because I kind of have learned to just take what I get and be so grateful that he's here.
Yeah,
because after that moment, it was just like, oh my god, like that was horrifying.
Scary,
yeah, and so like it was just, I don't know.
How long has he been sober?
I truly don't know the actual answer for that. But I know he's been without pills and stuff, I want to say, for a minimum. Jameson's 11, so I want to say at least 8 years.
Yeah.
And I would say from alcohol for maybe a year or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know it wasn't like, to the point where like my mom went to my aunt's house to ask if they had Captain because liquor stores were closed and he needed it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the worst one, the alcohol.
Yeah.
You know?
So he was able to ditch the drugs faster.
Sure.
Which obviously is better.
Yeah.
You think?
Well, the stigma around pills is a lot more negative than alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, so like people think.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. What's the percentage? Isn't it like, do you say
so
last
all the deaths
episode?
from overdoses from any drug, add them all up, they're nowhere near greater than the death from alcohol.
Jesus.
Isn't that wild?
That is crazy.
It's the only substance besides benzos that you can die from detoxing off of.
Well, that's why they kept them open during COVID, and people did not understand that. And that was one of the first things that I did understand, because I was like, oh yeah, you can't take away alcohol from these guys because they will all die. They will fill up the hospitals faster than COVID patients.
Oh yeah, they'll start killing people quick.
Yeah.
A lot of alcoholics out there. Yeah. And it's a lot more it's a lot more mainstream. Like, okay, you're an alcoholic, all right, whatever.
People joke about it all the time.
You can still get your shit done, though.
Yeah.
But, you know, and people can justify that way. It's like, yeah, I still go to work.
I go to so many parties as an adult, like that, you know, there's kids around, and these adults are like, oh yeah. I'm an alcoholic, and they joke, and they just pound back drinks, and I'm just like,
oh yeah,
what are we doing here? And then I don't know if they're really telling the truth or not, but I think half of them are.
Oh yeah, I'll be at fucking kids' birthday parties. Like, we're talking like 5-year-olds, 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
And they're out here sneaking fucking flasks out of their fucking... It's 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And then granted, I drank when I woke up. Okay. You know, I went through stretches where, like, if I was on a bender, the second I woke up, I was at the bar at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. Or I was rolling over and hopefully I had half a bottle. You know, and it's a very disturbing life.
Yeah, my brother used to pee in bottles in his room.
Yeah.
Like, to not get up and walk the 5 steps to the bathroom.
Sure, I've done that. Yeah, been there. Yep.
That's like wild to me to think about.
Yeah, you're not right.
Yeah.
You're not okay. You don't, nothing. Yeah, it's, you don't want to be seen.
Yeah.
Even if you know everybody's asleep, it's just stepping out that door is scary.
Yeah.
You know, it's because you're in like this bubble of like protection. Once again, not coming down for dinner. Mm-hmm. It's like not leaving that room. It's your protection place. It's what made him feel safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Can we dive into, just because you are, you know, a sister of a brother with addiction, so like this is the first time on the podcast that I've had this relationship, and that's like originally I came on the podcast when Steve and Tay were doing it to you know, kind of touch on this stuff. So it's like
I did watch
it feels like
that,
relatable, you know, to talk about. So the moment, let's talk about like how the trauma has lasted in your head, heart, body, like those moments. Like we call, you know, it's tough to talk about the mental health field, and like I don't know what I'm talking about, but I've had a lot of experience with it, and a lot of experience in my own healing and growth and talking and learning, etc. And I guess it's like one of those, you know, trauma moments, which I know is so broadly used, but like how is that moment plus maybe more moments like triggering, or how does that like sit with you? Because I know some experiences I had, like it almost pains me to even think about them. Like, luckily, my brain's able to start to dissociate over time and healing with him. But, like, I know that there was a while, like, when I was actively going through it with him, like, this shit, like, lived in me in pretty immense ways. Like, you know, it's like, you know, watching somebody die at a young age. It's like, these are traumatic as fuck.
Yeah, I know.
So how do you feel like they affected you, or how have you dealt with it, or does it still affect you, or
not dealt with it?
I don't think I have.
Yeah.
And I'm like sitting here, and I know that you two were like way closer than my brother and I were. So like it definitely is a different level. And the fact that I wasn't living in the house for some of it definitely is helpful. But I feel like I have brought it with me to like, I am horrified of pain pills. And if anybody around me is like, oh yeah, I just popped like a Vicodin or something, I'm like, why the fuck are you taking that? And I am immediately just like, and I on my end, like, refuse. I do not, like, I had a C-section and got prescribed Percocet, and I was like, I'm not taking that, and I had to. I took one in the hospital and one the day I got home, and then that was that. I was like, I'm going to deal with this, because I absolutely cannot take that, because I was like, if I take that, that's what's going to happen.
Sure.
And that's kind of where my mentality is with anybody. If anybody is getting prescribed something, or they're telling me that they have pain and they're going to go see a doctor, like my mom is taking a pain pill right now for like a hip issue. And I'm like, why are you taking that? And I'm like angry at her, and I'm angry at my brother for letting her take this, and I don't even know what it is. And I'm just like, but like I have such a fear of pills in general. Like, like I take some for mental health.
Like they're all bad.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm like, why am I taking this every time I take it?
Yeah.
But like the hardest pain pill that I take is an Aleve. I take 2 or maybe 3.
Yeah.
But so I carry that with me. But I like emotionally, I think that I have a lot just pent up that I have not even begun to process, because it's just like I'm a person that just builds the walls. And so I haven't even started taking those down yet.
Yeah.
And like alcohol, I never really touched. Even to this day, I hardly drink. Like I said, people imagine that they just assume that I'm sober because I was an alcoholic when I say I don't drink.
Sure.
And then when I do drink at parties, like I've had like maybe 3 or 4 Coronas recently at a party.
Yeah.
And they're like,
loosey-goosey.
You're drinking. And I'm like, I know. And like, and it's honestly because there's so much more going on in our lives at this point that I'm like, I just want to feel like I can let loose. But then I immediately feel regret that I'm letting the alcohol be what's going to let me talk to people at this party.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh no, if I start going down this path. And then like, I feel like when we're at these things, like I do pay attention to what people are drinking. And I really try hard to not judge, because I don't know what's going on in their lives, and they really could just pound back 18 beers at this and be totally fine outside of here. Yeah. But in my head, I'm like, there's like a flag.
Yeah.
But I would never say anything. But
Sure.
like, emotionally, Jess, I'm not there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like
I hear it.
I just throw a smile on, and I am just like, but it's affected me with like every other aspect of.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, it does live with you.
Yeah.
And I think that's to be said for everybody and everything that they go through. It's like until you break it open and you see it, and it's not a fun ride.
Nope.
And it's not going to feel better than you feel now shoving it down, but it eventually, eventually that is the freedom and the release.
Yeah.
And the ability to start, wiping it clean and rewiring it the way maybe it is healthy to view and feel and live with.
There's
I think it's
a little
it's
sign.
Just so hard.
There's a little sign at my pharmacy, like, you can get Narcan with your insurance. And every time I go, I see that, and I'm just like, there's a part of me that's like, I probably should ask and have that.
One, yeah.
And then there's the part of me that's like,
I think it's great when people have an Narcan.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's
then awesome. I get angry at that too, and I'm like, why are we at this part in this world that we need to just have a Narcan? And then I think about all of that, and it's like,
Yeah, I think. I don't want to speak for the other side because I haven't been on the other side. But just like an addict alcoholic, I think the problem with not addressing any of that is the number one thing is the resentment part. The resentments that you have towards your brother for doing it. The resentments you have towards drugs because it put your brother there. Prescription drugs, resentments you have for your mother for enabling him for so long, they carry into all our relationships.
Yeah.
For a common purpose. Like you said, you were at the, you see all these red flags. I mean, that's great and all, but like already we're holding the stigma because we hold these resentments towards our past, and then we're following it through with this new person who's had 3 beers in the last hour. It's like, oh, that's an alcoholic. Stay the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't judge that hard, but yeah.
I mean.
But even yourself, like you said, like
I had
you
4,
take
and
3
I
to
felt,
leave because you throw your back out, and now you're like really, you're.
Yeah.
That's coming in, you're feeling guilty, you're feeling feelings about it, period, where it's like, having the no, like, okay, this is when I can go out and have a socially acceptable drink, or, I'm in a lot of pain, or I need this prescription to make me, whatever.
No, I get that.
But
I definitely carry it into all of my relationships, and I don't think I ever realized that.
Yeah, and it's like addicts, family members of addicts, alcoholics to like Why do I have to go to Al-Anon because they fucked up their life? And people hold on to that, you know? But it's not about fucking... It's not about having this fucking anger towards you having to go to get help from a therapist or an Al-Anon, blah, 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 whatever. It's about just you growing and moving away from that anger, that sadness, that resentments that you had from that past. You know, you could still have some serious anger and sadness for your father being an alcoholic and not even know it.
Yeah.
You know, and that could show up in your relationships today. You know, there's a lot of resentments that I had to go through as an addict alcoholic. It start to heal and start to look at and start to put it under a microscope. And it was years and years and years of work. I'm still doing it today. But like, I never would have been in a good place in my recovery if I didn't do those things, you know?
Yeah.
And I just think people get into a lot of, I'm not saying this is where you're at, but like have a resentment towards getting help because I'm not the problem. I'm not the one who's the addict alcoholic. Why do I have to do all of this work? You know, and it's for you. It's not for them.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
I did that in when they asked us for the first time to go to therapy, our parents, you know, after like messy stuff happened, they got a divorce, you know, we're at this age, Steve's starting to go off the rails. It was like that, you know, like junior high school age, high school. And I just remember I definitely had that for short-lived, but I had that resentment where I'm like, I don't need to go to that. I'm good. Like, you know, like this doesn't affect me. Everybody's losing their fucking mind, and now I seem to be doing great. So y'all can.
I knew you at this point in your life.
I'm like, but you know how that showed up in a solid 15 years of that span was. I made a lot of mistakes. You know, I acted in ways many resentful ways, harboring all of that shit. And I remember it was at 28. I remember I was like, oh fuck. I had to talk to somebody immediately. Like, I think it's time I need to go into therapy, you know, and I never thought I would because I always just had this pride where I was like seeing everything from the outside. And I was like, okay, I didn't really have like an outward resentment. You know, it was more like subconscious living in me. Like I was able to be like, everybody makes mistakes. I understand that. Humans are humans. I was always able to have that outlook. Like everybody's doing the best they can. Like such an empath, like to a fault, you know, where I'm like, I could be like a little angry or whatever, but I really accepted everybody for all of their shit. Yeah. And just was able to kind of be like, that's not going to affect me. Like, I'm going to live my own life. I'm going to do exactly what is the best thing I can do for me. But it's funny because it definitely, if I look back now, I can see all the ways that acted out. Yeah. You know? That
was part of your defense mechanism. Yeah. This can't affect me. Yeah. I'm doing amazing. Yeah. You know? Fuck you guys.
Yeah. I was like, bye.
Right.
I'm going to figure this out.
I'm going to dance.
If you watch.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to New York City, bitch.
I'm better.
Yeah. And then I came home. Life was real again. And I was like, oh, shit. This world hurts a little bit.
I know.
And so the story goes on.
I definitely don't. I don't know. I try not to like judge people like that, but it's just so hard. I do have resentments towards that, so I didn't realize that. Yeah. It just woke me up. Great.
Yeah.
Well, I think with your mother too, like the resentment part.
I have a lot of resentment with her.
Yes, I know. I can feel that.
Yeah. That one
which always needs to be studied. Your parents, your relationship with your parents should be studied by every child.
But my mom went to Al-Anon for my dad. Like, and she said that it's the best thing she ever did.
But not for your brother.
But not for my brother. And she gave me her Al-Anon book just to read through and just to understand life. But she did not go for my brother, but she went for my dad. And she she wrote little things in the book and all that stuff and highlighted certain things. And even the other day, she told me the Serenity Prayer. She's like, Lindsay, this is the thing that holds me together.
Sure.
And I was like, okay. Wow. But again, never did it with my brother. Yeah. Didn't mention reading it for my brother. Didn't mention going through the steps for my brother. Yeah. Just my dad.
Yeah.
Do you think that's straight guilt or?
No, I think it's just, I've already done it, so I already know everything. Type of attitude. Or she could just be in like a state of oblivion where it's like, I don't want my son to die the way my husband did. So I'm not going to validate that he's an addict alcoholic in the way that my husband was. My husband was a bad alcoholic, so I had to make measures to help him by going to Al-Anon, but also helping me. But I think it's maybe like a mindset now with the brother. It's like, this isn't affecting me that bad. He's fine.
Yeah.
You know.
You mean like strength to go through it again kind of thing?
No, I think she knows she has the strength to go through it. I just don't think, I think I could be totally off base, but sometimes her mindset might be like, if I go to Al-Anon for him, he's going to turn out the exact way my husband did. He's going to die early. Or
interesting perspective.
You know,
okay.
If I say this is that bad of a problem.
Yeah, maybe like she doesn't want history to repeat itself. She's been through that situation. She doesn't want to connect that.
I truly don't think she understands the problem that was there or that is there, like, or that any of that was so bad.
Chosen delusion.
I think that's part of. I think that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Not part of the problem. That's part of her solution. If I say it's that bad, history might repeat itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and my dad's cancer had nothing to do with drinking, but
maybe.
Okay.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that matters.
Yeah.
He still died at an early age.
Yeah, 52.
He still abandoned her.
Yep.
And maybe as far as she's concerned, you know, he still gave her.
And they struggled with that. So
and that was
a big
an
part of their life
before he passed. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So the cancer was probably less prevalent than that for so many years.
They were about to get divorced. She had literally just said, I'm leaving you. We're done. I'm not doing this anymore. And then he got his diagnosis.
Right.
So.
Right. And that could be part of it too. It's like, I went to Al-Anon and look, he didn't change.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it was a public thing, like that people knew what was happening.
And I don't want to speak for your mom. I don't know her. I don't know what she's been through. You know, I know what you've told me. And it's like, but like I know or I've heard and I've understood what other family members have
that there
through.
Is something behind it. Yeah. She's not just, she just doesn't know it's not there. Or she's deeply putting herself into that delusion that it isn't, you know, but
I think
you don't want to see
I think the core of it is she just doesn't want history to repeat itself.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to feel those feelings of abandonment and being scared all the time and being in fear.
Which is why enablers...
Because they still live together.
Which is why enablers
She still pays his bills.
Exactly.
Yeah, so if she pushed him out, she would lose him.
Right.
Yeah.
And who knows what he's doing. And for her to not have him there right next to her.
She'd rather pretend and have him safe with her.
Protection.
Safe.
It's the same. It's the same thing. It's always him still to this day.
And
still to this day.
It's very difficult. I still see enabling at its finest. And enabling is so hard to come to the understanding that you are making an addict worse.
Yeah.
You are the word is enabling.
Yeah.
You are.
My father did it.
It just is so difficult to not be an enabler to someone that you are close with. Yeah. And like sometimes what that looks like is no house, no food. You are in that alley in a puddle shooting up if that's your choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, where is the line of like how to help you and save you versus enabling? And that's literally like, do you want help? I can get you help right now. Go.
Yeah.
It's like kind of that cut and dry.
Sure. My father, who's an addict alcoholic, he's been sober for decades. Okay. He still enabled me. There were stretches of years where he enabled me. Like I was living in, this is his house. I was living in this house rent-free. Anytime I needed the bills paid, I would call him and ask him, look.
Did you just say unfair?
Unfair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Resentment.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Absolutely.
It's okay. I lived here for
a
couple months.
The thing is, he goes to AA meetings. He's done the steps. He should have he knows the process of an addict alcoholic and the effects of an enabler. Sometimes a parent just can't see their kids go through that.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And like from somebody looking on the outside, they're like, why the fuck you enabling him?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're ruining him. Or not ruining him, but like, I mean, make him grow the fuck up by not enabling anymore. And like,
it's just different when it's your kid.
I look at it as on a micro scale. For me, like my son plays Roadblocks, okay?
I hate Roblox.
And he buys Roblox cards
Yep.
and puts money into it. And like me and his mother hate it. And he's stolen money off of his mother to buy Roblox cards.
Oh,
Shit.
And still, and we know this, and we've had plenty of talks with him about it. And 2 days ago, I bought him a Roblox card. I'm enabling his,
Roblox addiction.
and Roblox addiction. But I just want him to know that I love him through money. Sometimes.
Oh, that was my whole childhood. There it is. That was my entire childhood.
It's amazing.
I went shopping every weekend.
Affection.
Yeah. Right.
And we avoided the fact that my brother was home being an addict.
Sometimes it's the image.
Yep.
We want this
Yep.
to look good
Yep.
instead of us to look good inside.
Divert.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And especially your dad being that and knowing.
He got to a point where he fucking realized it.
Yeah.
Well,
obviously.
I think everybody does.
And like I had
addict.
I had my son who I was taking care of by myself, and so like that was my like poster. Look, Dad, I'm doing this by myself. Help me. And like I played to his heartstrings that way because I'm an addict, I'm a manipulator, I'm a liar, I'm a thief. When I'm in active addiction, those things are my most important tools, and I use them to the best of my ability. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
I don't care what you've done for me.
Yeah.
If I'm not living in my recovery in my positive work, I will always revert back to sleeping all day. I will always revert back to not coming down for dinner. I was always revert back to pretending like I'm the victim and I need help. And if you don't help me, the world's going to end.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's heavy for a parent.
And he does. He plays that so well. That is him.
It's heavy for a sister.
Yeah.
It's heavy for a sister, And luckily, my sister learned how to not be enabled very quickly, I think. Well, not that it was hard. Not that it wasn't hard.
No, yeah.
It was probably the hardest fucking thing.
It was at the right time.
Yeah.
It was at the right time.
Yeah.
Because, we had such a different experience together. Like, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree for me. It's funny when you say, like, there's the reason that I don't drink like this is because of this. And I have those things. Like, pills, I was like, the whole, that whole wave. I watched, I think, 3 friends die in high school.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I was just like, oh, I can't take that or I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was always a thing. And then I also went through my own experience watching, like, what depressive medication can do. And so it was just always in my head, like, not doing it. But you would think that, like, alcohol was like that for me. And it never was.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I can drink, like, the best of them. But I also can't. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, but when I do drink, like, I can throw them back.
Yeah.
And
I have a fear of enjoying it.
it's bad.
Dangerously.
I can dangerously do it. Yeah. And that is, I would say, drinking like that for me is not necessarily dealing with my emotions or what was going on, but a way to let it out, because I would keep it all together. And then when I drank, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I can now just not care.
Yeah. Free of
Not
it.
care. Yeah, because I feel like I care.
free.
I feel free.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, let loose.
Yep.
Like, I just don't want to fucking deal with it anymore. So, yeah, I've had some really bad moments. But it's just funny that you say that, because my experience with alcohol is so different. But anyways, What I was saying was our story was different, where, like, we started off partying together, all the same friends, same high school parties, etc. And so when it became a problem for him, it was like, oh, you're really kind of fucking up the problem here. I mean, the party, the fun, it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
Like, we can't drink together anymore. We can't go to parties anymore. I can't be at the same place as you and have a good time, because now I'm worried about, like, if this is going to be bad, like, if this is going to ruin your life.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And if I'm contributing to that.
Yeah. So much guilt, like I just couldn't do it.
Because me and my brother were at one bar together before I was 21. I was out with somebody that could get me into a place, and we ran into each other. And I just remember him being like, "What are you doing here?" And because he knew the people that I was with, he felt fine with it, but he wasn't drinking that night. Like, he stopped. Like, he was like, "You're here. You're not supposed to drink."
Yeah.
And, like, he was the person who drove us home that night.
Yeah.
And was just like, so I just remember, like, we went to Taco Bell and he went to go order food, and then he was just like, "Yeah, I'm going to take this and this." And then he's like, "And fuck you." And he drove off. And I'm like, I really wanted Taco Bell, God damn it. But, like, that's just like how he is. And I was just like, I remember being like, wow, he wasn't drinking and he's fun right now. And he just took care of me. And then I was at this same people's house for a house party one time, and it was like the same thing. Like, he didn't drink. I didn't see him drink, and he was horrified that I was going to drink. And it was just like, okay.
Brother protective mode felt like he...
Yeah. But it's like, it was weird because in those moments, these were when he was younger, before like the full, I feel like this was maybe before, maybe he was just on pills. I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe it wasn't a drinking night for him and it was something else.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see him care for me in those moments.
Yeah.
So, and he knows now that I don't drink, and he never has asked about it or...
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is weird that it can do either way for you. But maybe it was just my whole life hearing that my whole family was alcoholics.
Yeah.
And I just was like, meh, I don't feel like I want that in my life.
Yeah. No, so smart.
When your mom gave you the Al-Anon book and, kind of wanted to push you towards going to Al-Anon to help you, what was your first reaction? Like, not to her, but to yourself.
So she gave me the book because of different personal reasons, and was like, this doesn't necessarily have to be for alcohol.
Sure.
This can be just in general.
Absolutely.
To deal with everything.
100%. Yeah. I always say that with the steps.
So, and she said, just do this because it will help you. And I was like, I don't need this.
Sure. Yeah.
This isn't what I'm going through.
Right.
Like, I'm not dealing with an alcoholic. I'm not dealing with anybody that's like this. Like, I'm not dealing with, it was just a time, and I was just like, I don't need this.
Yeah.
And so have I actually opened the book? Yes. But just to skim the pages.
Yeah.
I haven't actually begun reading it.
Yeah.
I do go to therapy. I always have, really.
Okay.
But we don't really get deep there. I feel like I find probably the world's worst therapists. We kind of just end up talking about like the week. And I don't know if it's because I am so good at throwing out a smile and being like, hi, I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Hard to get vulnerable.
Because I don't want to ever dig deep.
Absolutely.
Ask anybody that's close to me. I don't dig deep.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's part of the problem. But when she handed me that book, I was like, this is not what I need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so like the steps. The steps, I always say, everybody should. I tried getting her to do the steps once, but like it's hard for a person that's not an alcoholic to look at the steps and just be like, well, I don't need any of this. But it's not for like dealing with alcohol or drugs, because drugs and alcohol are not my problem.
Oh, I'd be interested in doing it. I'm always down for any self-help stuff.
I didn't realize. I've never heard anybody say it.
I asked you.
When?
You had
years ago?
You had this was this last year. You had a rough night, and then we talked about it the next day, and
oh yeah.
And I was like, all right, we'll meet once a week and try it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yes.
She's hitting the mic.
Oh, that's fine. But like, it's a life tool.
Yeah.
I think when people go through the steps, they have a different outlook on life because they have a different outlook of themselves. And the big basis of the steps is getting rid of your resentments, or at least acknowledging them and looking at the patterns of your resentments. It's like how that continues throughout your life. And so
I've never heard anybody say it like that though.
Yeah.
And so maybe like, I feel like this is helping me more than anybody today.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I would suggest, looking into it. Yeah. You can't do the steps by yourself. You got to do them with another person. You got to disclose everything to another person. And that's tough.
That's what it is. Ultimate vulnerability. That's when you get deep.
Absolutely. Yeah, but that's
opening it up.
It's like your therapist, like you're never going to find any sort of positive movement towards yourself unless you're actually getting deep.
Yeah.
Do you ever go into your sessions and be like, this is what I'm going to talk about?
Every time.
Every time?
like I have a plan every time that's deep.
Yeah,
and then I get there and then I'm like, this week, this person really pissed me off.
I'll never forget, I had a therapist, and it was like one of those, like, I was talking to them. It must have been COVID or after COVID. And I always like to try different therapists because...
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, because because I just, like, I'm more interested in... Yeah, what they're going to bring to me. I'm almost craving, like, somebody that will crack it open in a pretty profound way.
You want them to do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, not for nothing, but it is not, it is profession, and they are on that side of it. But I've had 2 therapists tell me, like, I think we're good. Yeah. Like, I think that, like, you're,
I've had people tell me, I don't think we need to see each other weekly. And I'm over here, like,
wrapping it up.
And I just almost killed myself.
Like, you seem to have a pretty good understanding. And I'm like, so you're telling me I could do your job, but you're not figuring out what's wrong with me. That's pretty, it's more of a
challenge.
It's like more of a conversation. Yeah. And then they're like, yeah, see what happens. And I'll have like epiphany light moments where I'm like, oh, that really helped me. And I'm communicative about that. But a lot of times it just ends up being like a conversation. It's like, no, I get it for the most part, but...
Yeah. I've even gone in and been like, I don't want to talk about this week after week. I want to come in and talk about my family upbringing. I want to talk about the weird shit that happened to me with that person when I was younger. I want to talk about this. And
you should look into IFS therapy.
Yeah.
Somebody that specializes.
Okay.
It's called Interfamily Services, and it's not about your family, but it's about the family that lives inside of you.
Okay.
It's about your different... they're called parts. Different parts that you have inside of you, and a lot of them are still thinking as your most traumatic time in your life. Say it was like 12 years old.
8. My dad died.
8.
Yeah.
You're still thinking when you were 8.
Yep.
Some of your parts. And that part doesn't know that you're 30-something now. So it doesn't know that it can just stop thinking as an 8-year-old and start to think as a 30-year-old. And so all the experience you've had in the last 20 years, it doesn't matter because your inside part is not thinking like you're thinking today. You're still scared as an 8-year-old. You're still looking for all these triggers and warning signs as an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
And it's like interfamily system starts to, it's a meditation practice, and you go in, you talk to that part. It sounds fucking a little out there while describing it, but you go in, you get in a meditative state, the therapist talks to you, you walk through kind of finding that part, opening that part up, talking to that part, and then acknowledging that part, thanking that part, and saying, I will talk to you again, but let me try and do X in my life the way I need to today. Thank you for serving me in the past, but let me do it today. And the whole basis is of just not living in that fear that you used to live in.
Well, acknowledging those parts too, meeting them.
Yeah, acknowledging.
Yeah. And I think like IFS, I don't know too much about it, but I know a couple people in it, and I've heard great things about it. But that being said, it's like that's an interesting way to do it. And then there's a million other ways. I truly believe. I think that's why I like to experience different ones, because I've done holistic therapies that have given me more insight or healing than certain talk therapies. So like when you like this experience and this serves as really beneficial to you, it's because you're connecting with different parts of yourself rather than just the verbal, the brain response, right? It's like we're already using that when we step inside the room. You knew what you were going to talk about. Now you're sitting and you're having this, this supposedly deeply personal communication with this other person that you're supposed to trust, but it's already the script has already been written.
Yeah.
And then she already has a narrative about you. You have a narrative about her. Now you're coming together to have this talk, and the chances of it getting so personally deep and healing, I think, is a little, from my opinion, it seemed to be less beneficial than other modalities of healing.
Because you got the 15-minute time clock behind you.
Yeah, exactly. And like when you talk about IFS, it's interesting because it's a lot of holistic healing modalities are connecting the energy, which is like, there's so much neuroscience behind that, the brain-body connection, how we store energy, how we store all of our memories in our physical body, and then that shows up in a whole fucking different way.
Yeah.
And so I think it's like kind of having that brain-body connection.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had...
Sounds great, but it sounds terrifying.
Yeah, terrifying. Oh, I've had full demonic... hold on. Let me rephrase that. I'm so good with words. I've had kind of similar to like exorcisms in my life. I swear. Yeah. Like
from going
moments
to that?
From
not through
different,
IFS.
not through IFS, but
holistic
of
healing.
holistic, like meditative state, energy work, like things that I cannot even describe. Like talk about being on drugs. Like I have been in a I can't even explain it, but like physically releasing.
I feel like I need
spiritually releasing in ways that I couldn't even begin to describe the experience.
Yeah.
And on no drugs. And I remember being like, why do I feel like I'm on fucking drugs? I felt high as fuck. I'm like, is it the breathing? Is it which it all helps. And I think it's just the moment in the space of releasing these energies. But like, I know for a fact, 1,000% that like energy release is an extremely real thing. And we just all have, not all, but we have that woo woo connotation on all that shit. It's like, and we're just now like kind of making that stuff more acceptable. But when I've experienced it in a physical way, I was like, oh, whoa, this is real. It's extremely real.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like,
you have to be open for it.
You have to be open. Yeah.
You have to want it.
And weird too, how like, of course it's finding right people and people that are good. But I've been in practices with people that have said things and walked me through healing parts of my life that they would have no fucking idea. And not saying, oh, when your brother and you were in that space doing that, but surely brought up things that just are wild. To heal parts of me, and your, all the points in your body, like this is really close.
The chakras.
This is what
Well, I think IFS is just like the closest thing to mainstream therapy you can get to holistic healing, because somebody isn't just telling you and asking you questions. It isn't just verbal. It is actual meditative state that you're looking inside and talking to yourself. You're not talking to another human being. You're figuring out who you are inside, what your parts are inside, and it's like parallel to any holistic kind of ideology. The energy
guided
connection.
It's a guided healing.
Yeah,
which is I think it's just super important because we get so tripped up. I personally get so tripped up. Having talk therapy, I'm just like, I'm here. I'm too consciously here with you.
Yeah.
I can create any mask I need to, and vice versa.
Sure. Right.
It's like that's why I think I've tried so many different therapists, is because I'm just waiting for that person to be like, I'm not seeing your bullshit. And you know what I mean? And
do you have a male or female?
Female. Yeah.
Have you always had females?
Yeah.
Yeah. You?
I have an issue with males.
Trust?
One male.
Trust issue?
Yeah.
A trust issue with the female? That's funny.
I have a trust issue with males.
With males?
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like,
Right.
Fuck that. I'm not going to talk to a man. I talked to one man who was actually he was a deacon.
Well, you haven't trusted talking with me right now.
I know, but I'm not getting deep.
Sure. Okay.
So, like, I sat and had a conversation with a deacon, and he was even like, oh, well, women should do... Like, it was just, like, something that we were talking about, and I was just like, and this is why I can't talk to a man.
Tough.
That's why I can't talk to a
like,
male.
let me show you the way to God.
No, but it was like he was still fucking siding with men, and, like, basically I was wrong still, and I was like, I fucking hate men.
Well, don't group us all together. I think that's
just
important.
99.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
interesting. I've talked to, I'm trying to think, just one male for talk therapy, and it didn't last. No, not at all. It was like a middle-aged man. Well, it was like I was like paired with them when I was like,
why is this happening?
Well, I think society tells us males aren't as emotionally in tap with their emotions, so they can't be emotionally available for you. And also, males just have some sort of underlying manipulative fucking
I was gonna say,
judgment.
you know what I feel? I feel the feeling of like a guy doesn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Sure, and that's not true.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
But society tells you that.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Like
that
you're being too much. Like emotions are too much for a man to hold.
Yeah.
The book, The Dance of Anger, phenomenal read.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah, it literally
I need
starts
that.
off with like women have always been told that we basically are psychotic if we show emotion. And
Hi.
Okay.
it's a good one.
Yeah.
But it's a really good like coping book too, and like how to deal with certain.
I gotta pull up the
situations.
video of, it's a little like conspiracy video about women and men and like the whole timeline, and how our power was stripped from us because men actually knew that we held the most
Everybody does start off as a woman, just saying.
So
We hold like the most intelligence, and we're so powerful because we're magic. I mean, we're magic. Number one. Number two, we create life. Number three, we're pretty wild.
I mean, the world wouldn't really keep going without us.
Yeah, there's this whole theory of like why men are macho, why the roles were created, and it's because like they had to push us down in some way because we would have been way too powerful for them.
Yeah.
my God, that's a lot. It's
gonna send it to you
the men
later.
went.
be careful
the men
what
went,
you believe in.
The men
No, I didn't say I
hunting.
believe in that.
There's roles for a reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There are roles for
Yes,
a
but
reason.
Men couldn't handle the roles of the women, and that's why they just went out and hunted with their dumbness.
Oh, this is becoming actually
Yeah, this is,
resentments.
day, guys. Way
We're
back in the
opening
day.
up the resentments very soon. No,
so who do you think's more emotionally stable then? Males or females?
Females.
emotionally stable in what way? In the way that you portray
present
yourself,
ourselves?
present yourself, or actually
No,
emotionally
actually
stable,
emotionally stable.
emotionally capable female. I think stability is a hard word, right? Because
who's really stable? In
Who-
this dating?
I don't think
look
anybody-
stable as fuck to anybody, and I am not.
I think men are way better at masking.
Yes.
But
tell me
the
one thing
underlying,
that
it's
feels-
because it comes off. Men, okay, society or not, however this was created, right? The roles. It is a thing that men but feel the need to portray themselves as more stable, portray themselves as not caring as much, portray themselves as less emotional, sweeping everything under the rug, taking care of everyone, being strength, all of these things. I think.
Why do they have to portray that though?
They just do.
Because that's a societal.
What if they just are?
Well, yes, absolutely, yes. Well, but women too. That's to be said for both sexes. What I'm saying is the
I
generalized.
feel like it seems like an issue though when a woman comes off as a strong female that has a strong
exactly.
mind.
There it gets.
That's stable.
This is a
whole
fucking
mess,
conversation that's going to get really.
I
deep.
think this conversation is bullshit. I think this debate is bullshit.
Okay.
I think both sides are always going to fight for themselves.
I can see that.
And just do it in different ways.
And I think it's totally damaging for the person trying to debate this because we're trying to group a certain sex into one whole thing.
And it's not
Everybody
No, yeah.
but this is a commonality with people in today's age.
Yeah.
We have to group males as not being as sensitive, just being brute force dumb, and just going out and
That was way back in the day when they just were hunting.
But that's part of it.
Yeah.
You know, girls are definitely more emotionally stable. These are all labels that we culminize to that certain sex.
Yeah.
And it's not fair.
No, but that's what I'm saying is that's the stigma.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Because,
that's
like,
how
women,
guys are.
like,
I'm saying
do I
that
really-
is the
yeah.
stigma. So that has
There's a stigma that women are not mentally stable.
bore
period.
many men and women into those groupings, right? Because I, as a woman, with all of the labels and stigmas on me, have portrayed many of those attributes.
Sure.
And men just as much, I believe. I've seen that.
Of
you know,
course.
so because of that, but it is absolutely unfair.
But that's what I'm saying. This is the bullshit.
Yeah. There really is no grouping. You can't say one
debate.
is better than the
Exactly.
other. You really
No.
can't.
And it's so hard for
Yeah.
us. Like you said, you can never have a male therapist. Maybe that's what you need to get over some of the things. This is what I'm trying to get at here.
I think I have trust issues with men from childhood.
Yes. Exactly.
So I don't know that I can trust.
So having a male therapist that you can trust or try to trust might heal some of those things.
I do have a male PCP who I love.
Right.
And I trust him.
Different.
And I've talked to him about mental stuff.
Right.
And I feel safe with him. So that's weird.
So exactly.
Yeah.
But you feel comfortable in that.
Yeah. Because he just gives you this vibe that,
so
like,
why couldn't
he
you be
cares.
comfortable with a male therapist?
So you can scroll now through your therapist. You scroll. You scroll on a webpage and you see what they look like, and you're just like, and you see the males. And when you do see the males, I'm sorry, but most of them have the picture that you're like, God, they probably want to touch somebody.
But that's not fair.
I know, but they just all look weird. But I don't want a picture. Maybe we should have a website without a picture.
Maybe that's what you need. To go into something that you think is going to be weird with an open ideology of maybe I can learn something here.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost a challenge.
You know? And I think that's why this debate is so much bullshit and why we shouldn't be grouping people together. It's because we all have past resentments. And we all bring past resentments into our decisions today. And all those past resentments are everything that we have to heal from. So everything that we're against today, maybe we should be for. If I don't think I can trust a woman, I need to start trusting a woman.
Okay.
If I don't think I can have a male therapist, which I love female therapists, I think they draw the best out of me. If I don't think I should have a male therapist, maybe I should get a male therapist. I need to open my mind and be more compassionate and empathetic for other people, because that's the only way I start to become more empathetic and compassionate for myself.
I like that.
I like that. I like that.
All right, Steve.
Okay, with your recovery ass.
All right. Well, Lindsay, thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
I mean, this was great. Thank you. Last minute. I mean, some of the episodes where I'm kind of anticipating having a guest on, it's so much for me to sit here and listen to somebody and then try and come up with questions. Today was like a very fluid and like opening process for me, and it was honestly one of my favorite episodes because I could relate so much, and I'm sure Jess could relate so much, and it hit so close to home. And so like I really appreciate you coming on, being vulnerable, being open and honest with us, because that's what this is all about.
Yeah, of course.
And if this helps you in any way, and
totally helps me. I'm like, I'm gonna walk out of here and call a male therapist.
Yeah.
Keep us posted.
It can't hurt.
Yeah.
If it goes bad, hey,
it's interesting because like it's an experiment, right?
Yeah.
Just, let's go back to that.
My
Life's
mind
an
has been opened
experiment.
up so much by all of this. Like from the first thing, like I'm just like, okay, I didn't see things.
Yeah.
This
right.
way.
And I think that's why this forum
This was awesome.
works for us so much and works for everybody, because we're given such a mainstream thing through social media or the news, and stigmas attached to it. And it's like, I think podcasts, it brings a whole different light to people's understanding of who people are.
Yeah.
And we have a little more compassion when I know I do when I hear another person's story, hear what they go through. It's like we never would have understood what you went through or
It's
heard
wild
what
that
you
Jess
went
knew
through.
me and didn't even realize.
Well, that's the thing. I have so many friends. We have so
I
many
know. We could have had each other's back for a while there.
I know, right? We're just at dance, both smiling, like, "Oh my God, life's awesome!" Let's go before we go back to the ballet bar.
Yeah, but this it is. I love this because we can bring friends on and we can hear things that we never ever would have found out.
Yeah, just having the conversations and like not having the script, it's like it's tough. The podcast is always like, okay, what is it supposed to be for? What is it supposed to be about? And like, what direction should you be moving in? And like, what kind of organization and questions and preparation should you be doing? And it's, Steve has kind of like definitely like lightened my stress with that, with even thinking about the podcast, because it's just like his why is the simple fact of doing it. And his why is to like sit down with somebody, and it's like there is no like judgment. There's no this is good enough. We need to do this. We need to do that. It just is like, let's just have the conversation with the person. Whatever comes of it, comes of it. And it's kind of like that mentality of like going to therapy. It's going to give you what it needs.
Yeah, I know.
And just having that, having that mentality. It's like the why is just for us to talk right here, right now. So so cool. I'm so glad you came. Yeah. I saw you twice this week. Yes. Tell us about your business really quick.
Do that,
Lindsay just did. My cousin is having having a baby, and we've known each other through fam for so long now. So she was called last minute, emergency, need you to do the balloon arches everywhere, not doing it. They came out so beautiful. And so tell us what you're doing, Lindsay, so you can put that out there.
I just started my business. It's just called KJK Balloon Designs. My kids are Cassidy, Jameson, Caroline.
Oh, cool.
Cassidy and Caroline are with K's, obviously. And I did it for somebody. I started a different job a couple years ago, and I worked for somebody that was so great for me mentally. And it was at a time in my life that I didn't know I needed something like that. And she opened up a totally different part of me that I didn't know existed, creativity, like creatively. And so, we separated our ways, and I was never intended it to go this way. And then I was just like, you know what? Like, I need that. I'm missing that piece of me.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I've been building walls all this time, and I'm slowly starting to find pieces of me again that make me happy. And so I was like, I'm going to start this business.
Cool.
And so when I get people that want some fun balloons or flowers, because I do flowers too, and I was like, I'm going to do it. So when they reached out, I'm like, hell yeah, I love these two ladies. Of course I'm going to get this done for you. So
and they were
balloons,
beautiful.
flowers.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, make sure you send me a lot of pictures so I can put them up.
Or do you have an Instagram?
I have an Instagram.
Okay, she has an Instagram. We'll tag her.
Give me the Instagram, and I'll put it in the description of the video and stuff like that, so people can find you.
Go follow, like, share, subscribe.
That's it. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you, Lindsay.
Yes, thanks,
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.